Hi, it's Joe. Welcome to the Quilt Report. Well, here I am back in my own living room after a long week on Cape Cod. Had such a great time. The idea was to get myself to Katuitt, uh, a small town on Cape Cod, and to have two things: a show at the Cahoon Museum of American Art and of the quilts that I've been working on for the last 2 years called Quilts for These Times. And then to have my friends, Seda Tarek and Pat Pauley, work with me to cover the outside walls of the museum with recycled uh, ripstop nylon from spinnakers, from local sailors. The spinnakers were actually provided by a company in Maine called Sailbags. Oh, they were great. Um, my wife, Carol LeMaitre, went with me. My friend Julie Silber also had a show at the Cahoon Museum. She had a show called Small Quilts, Big Stories that was upstairs. And so this was my crew for the show. It was Carol, Julie, Pat, and Seda. Um, Everybody was a joy. Carol cooked great meals for us every night. We'd be worn out. We started Monday morning, got to the museum, and I met up with the curator, Annie Dean, and we took a picture of us against this really intimidating wall. The museum is, excuse me, is a red shingle building. It was one time a house. It's been added onto and added onto. Um, so you can see that it was a large building that was quite intimidating to think about covering in 3 days was all we had. So we met up first thing with the cherry picker rental guy. And Seda volunteered to learn how to operate this machine so that she and I could be in a little basket and go clear up to the peak, the top of the building, and do what needed to be done up there, while Pat worked mainly on the ground floor. So we got started first putting up this sort of abstract, mostly white Gothic arch style thing, and then filling in all around it. So my goal was to have the first day to have the first wall done, and we almost made it. And well, Pat did a whole bunch of stuff across the front of the building, down on the ground. And then the second day, we continued around the building, and the third day, we worked until about 7 o'clock in the evening and finally got it done. Here's what it looks like. As you can see, we started with the big white, sort of a Gothic arch shape there, and then surrounded it with squares. In the lower right corner, you can see the first vertical square. There's a horizontal stripes above that. There were 36 80-inch squares made of the ripstop nylon. I packed them all in a suitcase from San Francisco. Along the front, it's horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. Along the top row, however, they're all vertical. The bottom row and the top row are separated with this white area, primarily white, that I pieced together in San Francisco to do just this, to fill in. Some of those pieces look sort of realistic, like this looks sort of like a sailboat. Um, you can see there, but mostly they're just abstract piecing together. I left the numbers in place so that people could see those as they looked at the whole building and be reminded that these were originally sails and spinnakers, which fit with the whole local angle here. Everything's stapled in place with stainless steel staples. It's going to be up all summer, and I didn't want the staples to rust, of course. So we worked our way around the building, and we got all the way to the far end. We left the upper part there, the original red, so people could see what the building used to be, and then covered this end with just spontaneously composed imagery. Here you can even see the staples. Inside the museum is my show of quilts, and the designers made it look fantastic. So it's a big honor to have a solo show like this in a nice museum like the Cahoon. And if you're anywhere on the East Coast and get a chance to, it's not that far into Cape Cod. Cotuit is in Barnstable early on when you hit Cape Cod. So if you're around anywhere, you can make a trip, a day trip to stop by the Cahoon. I'm sure you'll enjoy seeing my show and Julie Silber's show upstairs. It's called Small Quilts, Big Stories. There's some great stuff. So thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.